Hello, everybody. Ashley Chance here. I just wanted to take a couple minutes and talk to you about the Turkey Tech app and some of the features that it has. So, for those of you who ordered a Turkey Tactics toolbox, you got a code to download and use the Got Game Tech Turkey Tech app. They have other apps for calling different animals. So it's really cool. There's a lot of different features to the app. One of the things that I'm really excited about, first of all, you can just let's see if you can read that. That's just turkey sounds. So it goes through kind of the vernacular that turkeys use. So there's everything from a cluck and purr, locator calls, like a barred owl call, a crow call. There's cutting, a fly down cackle. And for each one of these, the app describes not just what the call sounds like, but the context in which it's used. So socially speaking, what are situations where you would see a hen doing a fly down cackle coming off the roost, obviously? When would you hear an excited yelp? And by extension, when should you be using those calls? When should you be trying to emulate those noises in your pursuit of a gobbler? Another really cool thing, aside from sounds that they have on here, is sequences. So knowing the words, knowing the words that turkeys use, but then also understanding the language and the context in which to use them. As a very new turkey hunter, and not at all an experienced caller, I feel like these are things that could take, a decade or more of sitting in the field observing turkeys to truly understand. So I really think that this app is, it's affordable. It's $5.99 if you didn't get it as part of the Turkey Tactics toolbox. And I think that it could just fast track you to really being effective when it comes to calling in the turkey woods. All right, so now I'm going to demo how to use this app and how to practice with it. So I'm going to choose one of the turkey sounds here. I'm going to choose a plain yelp, beginner. And so the description for a plain yelp is a sound made by a hen, often to communicate with a tom. And when you click on a sound, it takes you to a page specific to that sound. So you can see there's a video to play. There's a friction video and a mouth video. So this, for a plain yelp, it has demonstrations on how to create it with either of those types of calls. And then there is also, of course, audio and tips. So the audio allows you to get kind of an example. So I'm going to be using a friction call. I'm actually going to be testing out one of our custom Artemis pot calls that is a prize for our storytelling contest. So let's see here. We have, and they have examples from their professional turkey caller, Scott Ellis, and they also have a real call from a turkey in the woods, which is cool. So we're going to play a Yelp friction call by Scott, and then I'm going to try to emulate it. And you can be the judge of how good I do. All right, now I am going to give a plain Yelp on a friction call my best shot. Here we go. Probably you can practice. So it's a good thing I have the app. All right, now what I'm going to do is try to go back. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but you can actually record yourself making the call in the app, and then you can play it back to compare it to the examples already in the app. So let's watch, we can watch together the video of Scott practicing a plain Yelp on a friction call. And one of the things I love about these videos is they're only about a minute long or less. So you don't have to commit, you don't have to commit a lot of time just sitting and practicing one of them.
Now let's demonstrate the deadly plain yelp on a friction call. Remember those oblong fish hooks that we used when we did the tree yelping and the soft yelping? closer to the edge of the rim of the pot. Same basic mechanics, but you're going to move down a little bit more towards the middle of the call, probably about an inch off, okay? You're going to have that same 100-degree angle. You're going to make the same fish hook. It's going to be a little bigger fish hook, and you're going to push down just a little bit harder to allow that call to break over into that rasp. You want the rasp when you make that plain yelp. So let's demonstrate. Inch in, oblong circles, a little more pressure. As you can see, I'm making a bigger swipe. I'm pushing a little more pressure to get that high and that low note, and then you have that plain yelp on a friction call.
All right, the last really cool thing that I want to go over is the tips section. So they have one for each turkey noise. We're still on the plain yelp, and they've got 3 tips here. So the first one, what is a plain yelp? The plain yelp is a general communication call consisting of 3 to 8 yawk, 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 yawk type notes in a sequence with a slow to medium speed rhythm. So getting back to that cadence. The number of sequences will vary depending on the hen and how talkative she is. So I remember during our first Turkey Tactics event, I think it was Mary Lane might have said, or maybe it was during the podcast, but she made the wonderful point of knowing what the hens sound like in the place where you're hunting. So you don't want to go in and just start cackling your head off if generally the hens in the area are really quiet hens. And I like that this app touches on that. All right, the next tip, when do turkeys use it? It's probably the most effective call during the spring hunting season. The plain yelp is a general communication call with a medium speed and rhythm, and turkeys use it to communicate within a flock, as well as a hen to communicate to a tom. She will yelp, and the tom will reply with a gobble, allowing them to rendezvous. Also, hens will yelp back and forth to each other from a distance to locate each other. Okay, cool. So now we know what it is, when turkeys use it, and the third tip, when should I use it? One thing to keep in mind is when we call toms to our setup, we are reversing nature. You all know that by now. Most of the time, toms gobble and hens come to their location. If you call too frequently to a tom, he will sometimes become stubborn and then expect the hen to come to him, causing him to hang up. Call just enough to keep him coming to you. If it takes frequent calling to keep him moving, then do so, but more often than not, playing cat and mouse with less calling will seal the deal. This is one of the things that I've worried about trying to figure out turkey hunting is overcalling, and then, I really know that it's important not to overcall. So erring on the other side of not being talkative enough or not knowing when to engage the bird is something that I wonder about. And so I love having a resource like this that gives you kind of contextual tips. So that concludes my short intro video to the Turkey Tech app. I think it's a wonderful app. I know that I'm certainly going to be using it, and I would love to hear what those of you who got it as part of your Turkey Tactics toolbox think of it. Maybe go over to the Slack channel and share your thoughts, share your progress. Yeah, and have a great rest of your day.